The Cold War. The Cold War is commonly used to refer to the era of geopolitical tension between the United States of America and the Union of Soviet Socialist Republic (USSR) and their allies, the Western and the Eastern blocs. It spanned from the period of the announcement of the Truman Doctrine in 1947 to the dissolution of the Soviet Union on December 26, 1991. The term Cold War is usually used because there was no direct confrontation between the two superpowers. However, each supported major regional conflict known as proxy wars. This conflict was based on ideological and geopolitical struggle for global influence and their dominance. Apart from nuclear arsenal development and conventional military development, the struggle for dominance was also expressed through psychological warfare, propaganda campaigns, espionage, and technological competition, such as the space race. The United States supported anti communist and right wing governments across the world, while the Soviet Union's government funded left wing parties and revolutionaries across the world. After the Second World War, the United States and its allies created the North Atlantic Treaty Organization called NATO, and the Soviet Union formed the Warsaw Pact. The major crises of the Cold War included the 1948-1949 Berlin blockade, the Chinese Civil War, the 1950 to 1953 Korean War, the 1956 Hungarian Revolution, the 1956 Suez Canal crisis, the 1962 Cuban Missile Crisis. The two ideological blocs also competed for influence in Latin America, the decolonization of Africa, Asia, Oceania, and the Middle East. By the 1970s, both sides had started to make rooms for peace and security, which altered in detent. This saw the strategic arms limitation the talks. The tent collapsed with the Soviet Afghan War in 1979. Based on this, the United States increased diplomatic, military, and economic pressure on the Soviet Union. The new Soviet leader, Mikhail Gorbachev, introduced liberalizing reforms called Glasnost and Perestroika and ended Soviet involvement in Afghanistan War in 1989. This war spanned for a period of almost 10 years. In 1989, also saw peaceful wave of revolution overthrowing almost all communist government of Eastern Bloc. The communist government of the Soviet Union lost control in the country and was banned following an abortive coup attempt in August 1991. This in turn led to the former dissolution of the USSR on December 26, 1991, and the declaration of independence of its constituent republics, and also the collapse of communism across Asia and Africa. Based on this, the United States became the only superpower in the world. After the dissolution of the Soviet Union, Russia had to cut its military spending and